Welcome back to the Don McKay Show here on RadioOnFire.com, the Radio on Fire News Network. Of course, the voice of urban America, as I said, Don McKay in here. Now, if you want to advertise your product, service, or upcoming event with Radio on Fire, you can do so. Our broadcasts reach over 350,000 people per month. Get your message in front of our audience. You need targeted social media campaigns, commercials, on air mentions, giveaways, and so much more. Visit radioonfire.com/promo for pricing details. Also, the Radio on Fire News Network is launching our brand new Apple and Android app. If you're listening, then you would love to take us with you on the go. Get Radio on Fire podcasts, live streams, merch, member content, all in your pocket. Watch and listen however and whenever you want. The Radio on Fire News Network app launches October 31st on all Apple and Android devices compatible. RadioOnFire.com/app is where you go for that. So it is upon us as this case thickens, the plot thickens, as they say. A second whistleblower has emerged. Dramatic new developments could threaten President Trump and the defense that he is trying to put forth in this House impeachment inquiry that is going on. So this second whistleblower, because of course Trump was talking about the first whistleblower did not have firsthand information, and anybody that was coming out and speaking in support of the president was saying, "Oh my God, this person, it's a guy really, but they're saying this male or female, this whistleblower, they have hearsay, secondhand information." And ironically, the whistleblower number one is represented by the same lawyer who has picked up whistleblower number two. Whistleblower number one is a member of the CIA, ironically, member of the intelligence community. And what is this all talking about? What is the big hoopla here? Big hoopla, quite simply, is the controversial July 25th phone call with Trump, the president of Ukraine, and it seems like many people on the line. Remember those party lines from back in the 80s, 90s? A bunch of people on the party line. Anyway, the whistleblower number two is said to have this first-hand information. The person made a protected disclosure and cannot be retaliated against. Is this whistleblower in danger? Is the first whistleblower in danger? The president brushed off the whole thing and said, "Keep him coming." All right, he's not worried about it. He's not sweating it at all. So he says, but I think that he is sweating it. So of course we know that the House Intelligence Oversight and Foreign Affairs committees are investigating Trump and his actions, are using the word now, pressing Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden. Trump talking about corruption in Ukraine and us doing business with, us providing aid to Ukraine. And he didn't want to do that with a country that was corrupt. So he wanted them to investigate Joe Biden. Now, many are saying that the fact that he just singled out Joe Biden, who obviously is a rival, political rival of him, looks shady. It looks strange. If he had singled out Joe Biden, but nobody else, yeah, that does look strange. And the fact that it is coincidentally the person who he's running against. He also threw out there for China to do the same thing. Some people are saying that this, while it is not something that you want to do, is not impeachable. But the founders knew what they were doing. The founders left a lot of things muddy, a lot of things murky. All right, high crimes and misdemeanors is something that has to be defined. And how do we define that? Is participation of a foreign government in our elections something that rises to the point of high crimes and misdemeanors? I say yes. Now, many allies of the president are trying to say, hey, he was joking, or there was no quid pro quo. What does that mean? A lot of times you hear people say that. What is quid pro quo? You go to someone and says, look, you do this for me, I do this for you. That is the quid pro quo, right? If you meet a woman in the street and um, the police are watching, and you approach the woman, and the woman says, hey, I want to perform this act on you, perform some fellatio on you, and you say okay, and there is no talk about money, and she's doing this for free, then this is not prostitution. Prostitution would be the exchange of the money for the sex services. But if you just give a woman on the street money and she doesn't do anything, then that's not, it's not anything illegal. That's not prostitution. But prostitution, if you screw somebody on your job, that's not prostitution. There was just no exchange for anything. It's just, right? I use prostitution because I think that's something that people can follow easily. Now, where it comes to something that is not clearly defined, like high crimes and misdemeanors, the fact that the Republicans can even come up with, well, it's not really high crime, it's something you shouldn't, they try to do that. They try to muddy the waters. The devil is in the details. Now, Democrats say that they need documents to examine the sequence of events and the reasons behind the White House decision to withhold appropriate aid. This aid that was the Congress had decided, voted on, and appropriated to give money to Ukraine to help against Russian aggression. The aid was later released, but it was released only after the first whistleblower came out. So it's kind of obvious there. So you have subpoenas flying left and right, as Trump likes to say, they're giving out subpoenas like cookies. All right. So Democrats have issued a subpoena to the White House budget chief. All kind of things going on. Eventually, is this going to get to be too much for Trump? Is he just going to resign, or is he going to push through? He's made a lot of money. Is this whistleblower really in danger? If they keep the whistleblower's identity secret, is that going to make them safe? Somebody's going to find out, right? I think that the whistleblower is going to be okay. There's a lot of attention on this. Whistleblower number one, whistleblower number two. As I said, direct knowledge, so they say, that could undermine Trump and his allies' effort to discredit the original complaint. A lot of people said that the things that the first whistleblower was saying were information that was available in the public, and people already knew that. Nothing that could really hurt the president. But this second whistleblower, this information, if this is firsthand, this could be very damaging. This could be the change. This could be the thing that caused, things to go differently. Rough transcript of Trump's call with Zelensky was released by the White House and has already corroborated the complaint's central claim that Trump sought to pressure Ukraine in the investigation. Now, the word pressure is something that's left up to interpretation. Mentioning something, is that pressuring? A lot of people are zooming in on the word do us a favor, though. That word, though, being really, really something that people are really focusing on. Now, the president's real problem is that his behavior has finally gotten to a place where people are saying that it is enough. That was Democrat Representative Jim Hines from Connecticut and a member of the House Intelligence Committee. I don't know how this is going to end up. I know that whistleblowers should be able to come forward and state what they saw, right? But there's a fine line between a whistleblower and somebody that's spilling government secrets. So that, I mean, it's a fine line there, and we don't want to set a precedent that people are just coming out of the woodworks when an administration is in that they don't agree with and just spilling secrets unnecessarily. A lot of times that happens, and people find themselves in jail, right? In jail for whatever reason. Now, we talk about in the Vietnam War, the Pentagon Papers, or Chelsea Manning, and what was done in that situation. When the government is at war, when America is at war, and people find out things behind the scenes, a lot of times that gets people incarcerated. They do this was classified information. You're leaking this intel. President decides what's classified and what's not. For the most part, we've seen instances where he's just revealed things to foreign, governments and all kind of stuff, just whatever he wants. Free Nelly, free Nelly. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I do know that the country is at a very, very delicate state right now, but we will get through it. We will get through it. So Joe Biden, a leading candidate in this 2020 race, wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post that he had a message for Trump and those who facilitate his abuses of power. Please know that I'm not going anywhere. You won't destroy me. You won't destroy my family. That, as I said, was Joe Biden. So as things go on, we were thinking that they were going to throw Energy Secretary Rick Perry under the bus over the weekend. That's what it seemed like where this was headed. He has put in his 2 weeks, so to speak. He's going to be leaving the end of the month. Trump repeatedly has described this conversation as being perfect. Nothing is perfect, and this conversation far from it. So I don't know how this ends. And we've talked many times about impeachment. The acts that Trump is doing, clearly wrong. Now, if Republicans ignore this and continue on this path of being a Trump ally, an apologist, supporter of these actions, you can support what you think the guy represents, but if he does some things that are clearly wrong, at what point are you going to say, okay, damn, you know what I mean? My bad. A Democrat can come and do some of these same things. I want Republican, conservatives, independents to listen to me. If you allow Trump to do the things that he's doing and get away with the things that he's getting away with, eventually, whether it's 4 years from now or whether it is next year, a Democrat can be in office and do some of the same things that you are excusing Trump for doing. What's going to be the excuse then? What's going to be the excuse that Republicans, the Lindsey Grahams of the world, come up with? I am anxious to hear where they're going to go. The Democrat starts doing some of this stuff. Now, I said this last week on several shows. The Democrats are no angels. Now, this whole business with Joe Biden smells fishy. Now, whether they want to say that it was not illegal, it is improper. It is improper for his son to be sitting on a board of the energy company and Biden to have such close ties overseeing the whole thing. Shady business. But the Trump kids are no better. And for all intents and purposes, the Trump kids are worse, right? Trump kids are worse. And for other politicians to sit back like, oh my God, I can't believe, I can't believe they're doing that. A lot of them do this, right? Not just politicians, a lot of people in general. And yes, you use your contacts to your advantage, but there is a certain point where the leverage is too much. And I think that that's where we are in a lot of these cases as it relates to this Ukraine controversy. Ukraine has not been on the American news this much ever. Ukraine. Can't believe we're talking about it this much. 2020 elections right upon us. And while we're talking about the 2020 election, Bernie Sanders has finally been reported something that we knew something was going on. But the candidate, the 2016, one of the big dogs in 2016, race, and one of many in this 2020 race, he had a heart attack. Okay, 78 years old. It is time for Bernie Sanders to drop out of this race. Yes, he raises a lot of money, but this is a grind. And he's 78 years old. If you look at the last debate, he didn't look like he was all there. He looked very tired, very winded. And I said this on shows. It's time for him to go. Okay. We need fresh faces. Okay. Fresh faces. A lot of these candidates that are over 70 years of age, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. If you're not going to step aside, then your body is going to break down like Bernie Sanders. Okay, this heart attack that he had is going to affect him significantly. I didn't think he was going to win the presidency regardless. He's definitely not going to win. He's definitely not going to win. Aside from the fact that some of his views are a little bit too much to the left for the mainstream, in order for him to really win. You have a segment of the population that's with them, but you got to get a lot more people than just the Bernie bros, a lot more people. In addition to that, he's been, for all intents and purposes, campaigning for almost 5 years straight. You might as well say. 78 years old. I mean, he used to look like Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Now he looks, I don't know, maybe like Doc Brown on Back to the Future 10. It's really time. I don't want to see Bernie Sanders have another cardiac event. Now, a lot of people are going to say 2019, people have heart attacks and you can move forward. That is true. But let's keep in mind that the intensity level of this campaign is going to continue. Still has more debates. Let's just say, humor me for a minute. Let's say that Bernie wins the Democratic nomination. Do you think Trump is going to take it easy on him, or do you think he's going to make it more stressful for him? More stressful for this 78-year, going on 79-year-old heart who just had 2 stents placed in there. I want the best for Bernie Sanders, and the best thing for him to do is to drop out of the race for the sake of your health. For the sake of your health. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Don McKay Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, on LinkedIn, at The Don McKay Show. I'm really enjoying the conversations that we're having on LinkedIn and all the social media stuff. If you miss any episodes of the show, radioonfire.com/Diamond K. Booking info, djdiamondk@gmail.com. I'll see you guys tomorrow.